I think that should suffice as the answer.
But you didn't talk about Madani and you didn't talk about the economic development plan. So let's spend a little time on that.
Yeah.
Good afternoon. I'm Bob Rubin. I'm co-chair emeritus of the Council of Foreign Relations. And it is my enormous privilege to welcome an old personal friend to the Council today, Prime Minister of Malaysia, Anwar Ibrahim. I'm not going to read from his resume, but I think you have it in your materials. In any event, it is an enormously distinguished and highly respected resume and an enormously distinguished and highly respected individual. I want to make a few personal comments. I first met Anwar Ibrahim roughly mid-90s, I would say it was. And that was a time, as you may remember, of the it was a time leading into the Asian financial crisis. And Anwar became a friend and a colleague. We at the Treasury had enormous respect for Anwar Ibrahim. As I said a moment ago, we really viewed him, even though he was a finance minister of another country, as a colleague of ours. And he was enormously helpful to us as we tried to think our way through the difficulties of the Asian financial crisis. So when Mike Froman, the president of the council, asked me if I would introduce Anwar Ibrahim, I was really deeply, deeply honored to do so. And we just chatted for a little while and reminiscent about those days, now 30 years ago, I guess, Anwar. And so we are enormously grateful to welcome back the Prime Minister of Malaysia, Anwar Ibrahim, and Rico, who will conduct the discussion.
Thank you, Secretary Rubin, for that introduction, and welcome, Prime Minister. We'll now have, as is the Council tradition, about 25 minutes of conversation before opening. What in this new plan is going to help Malaysia turn the corner and realize that dream?
Thank you, Silva. Since Bob Rubin is here, I must recognize his presence as a dear friend, dear colleague, who showed so much compassion and care in those difficulties. I agree with you. We must be really crazy to do what we had to do. I think that should suffice as the answer.
But you didn't talk about Madani and you didn't talk about the economic development plan. So let's spend a little time on that.
Yeah. No, now, of course, we are in the position. I mean, I've waited some years, worked hard, and interesting enough, we had a coalition, very committed colleagues, who understands that Malaysia can evolve and emerge as a great economy, working model for a pluralistic society, peace, through peace, compassion, and harmony, with, of course, with the vision for the country. We call it the Madani framework. What's different in the Madani economic framework? Of course, you talk about sustainability, you talk about the changes and now digital transformation, renewable energy and green, fair. But what is lacking, to my mind, particularly for humanity now, is that when people are so engrossed and obsessed about development, there's little concern about issues affecting humanity, which requires compassion. I mean, religion, race are being used to create mischief and hatred and enmity. To my mind, the relevance of religion, or for the matter, state and governance, is to create a better understanding and tolerance. Not necessarily for I remain a Muslim, but practicing Muslim. But there's nothing in religion which should be exploited to sow the seed of hatred. As you have seen, the growing fascism in Europe, the far right here, which of course is concerning for countries like us. So that is why we have to craft a policy, but also tied to the dictates of the time, the zeitgeist, with the digital technology and green and renewable energy. We have to address this because they are the new realities which we did not discuss in the 1990s. It was not the central focus in the 1990s.
So you talked about green transition, energy transition. The plan also talks about AI and smart tech industrial sectors. Talk to me a little bit about the role of foreign investment that you see in all of this, and particularly how you're going to weigh partnerships with the US, partnerships with China. I'm sure you anticipated this question, and I'm sure you have an answer.